Trump blames Minnesota, not Iran, for cyberattack, despite initial investigation. That's the headline from the New York Times, written by Chris Cameron reporting from Washington. President Trump on Friday publicly disputed the assessment that Iran was behind a cyberattack on dozens of municipal water systems in Minnesota. U.S. and state investigators have said Iran is most likely responsible, and the FBI reported late Thursday that the hackers had targeted water facilities in at least 7 states across the country, causing what officials described as degradation of those systems. In a freewheeling cabinet meeting, Trump dismissed that view, saying he does not think there was an Iranian cyberattack and instead claimed that Minnesota's Democratic governor, Tim Walz, was behind the intrusion. Walz quickly responded on social media, stating that Trump knows exactly who is responsible and that other states were also hit, calling the incident a clear example of modern warfare and evidence that there is no plan to win a war with Iran. Officials cautioned that their conclusions are preliminary and could change as more data is collected, but as of Friday nothing had surfaced to challenge the prevailing view that Iran is responsible. If confirmed, the hacking spree would amount to one of the most significant cyberattacks of the conflict and one of the most serious efforts to compromise U.S. water systems on record. Some officials warned that the attackers might be attempting to pose as being based in Iran in order to ratchet up tensions between the two nations, though former intelligence officials said such a false flag scenario is unlikely. The episode continues a pattern of Trump targeting Minnesota and its Democratic leadership, particularly over immigration policy, and it comes as the president seeks to downplay the threat of an increasingly unpopular war with Iran inside America's borders. The New York Times placed the story in its War in the Middle East section, underscoring the geopolitical stakes. The FBI's statement noted that the water systems were not only targeted but also experienced operational degradation. Governor Walz, who was Kamala Harris's running mate in the 2024 election, emphasized that the attack affected multiple states, not just Minnesota. Trump's accusation appears to be part of a broader strategy to shift blame onto Democratic officials and to minimize the perception of Iranian aggression on U.S. soil. Intelligence analysts have pointed out that attributing cyber operations to a nation-state is notoriously difficult, and the preliminary nature of the assessment reflects that uncertainty. Nevertheless, the consensus among federal and state officials remains that Iran is the most likely actor, and no evidence has emerged to support the president's claim. If the Iranian link is confirmed, it would mark a significant escalation in the cyber dimension of the conflict, potentially prompting a reassessment of critical infrastructure defenses. The possibility that the attackers are masquerading as Iranian operators has been raised, but former intelligence officials consider that scenario improbable given the technical indicators observed. This episode also highlights the ongoing tension between the executive branch and state governments over issues such as immigration enforcement, with Minnesota frequently in the crosshairs. As the investigation continues, officials stress the need for cautious, evidence-based conclusions rather than political rhetoric. Thanks for listening to the Daily Brief.